Well, hey there, and welcome back to Heimler's History. Now, we've been going through Unit 5 of the AP Government Curriculum, and in this video, that means it's time to talk about third-party politics. So if you're ready to get them brain cows milked, well then let's get to it. So in this video, here's what we're trying to do. Explain how structural barriers impact third-party and independent candidate success. So over the course of the last few videos, we've been talking about political parties, and I've been focusing on the two big ones, the Democrats and the Republicans. And maybe you wondered, why aren't you talking about all the other political parties? What about the Green Party, or the Constitution Party, or the Libertarian Party, or the Pirate Party? Did he just say Pirate Party? I sure did. It's a real party. Look it up. Now, here's the thing. I haven't really mentioned any of those parties till now because, if I'm going to be honest with you, they're never going to win an election. And I'm not just over here dropping hot takes. Like, it's true. What we have here in America is a two-party system. And in a system like that, it is almost an impossibility for a third party to win a major election. So pirates are going to keep pirating, but they're not likely to do it in the national legislature. Now, the question is, why is that? Like, why don't third parties stand a chance in a two-party system? Well, there are actually a lot of reasons, but I'm only going to focus on the two big issues surrounding third parties. Number one, winner-take-all voting districts, and number two, the incorporation of third-party agendas into the two major parties' platforms. So first, winner-take-all voting districts. And let's use presidential elections to think about this. In the electoral college system, whichever candidate wins the most popular votes is awarded all of the electoral votes of that state. So here in Georgia, we currently have 16 electoral votes, and so when the next presidential election comes around, even if one candidate wins by only one single solitary vote, all 16 of our electoral votes will go to that candidate, and that is a winner-take-all system. Now, what does this have to do with third parties? Well, when you consider the sheer girth of the Republican and Democratic parties, they are able to appeal to a metric buttload of voters, which is to say, the vast majority of Americans will find themselves agreeing with much of the respective platforms of the two major parties. So they are most likely to vote with the major parties, and if it's a winner-take-all system, that means the third party, which is necessarily smaller, less funded, and newer, can never hope to win a popular vote, and thus will be awarded no electoral votes. And that further dooms third-party candidates because people are less likely to vote for them since it feels like they're throwing away their vote. Like, if they have no chance in winning in the system, why would I even cast my vote that way, even if I believe in their platform? Now, the only thing that could really change the situation is to abolish the winner-take-all system in favor of what's known as a proportional system, and that's exactly what it sounds like. If you have candidates from 10 parties and Party A receives 40% of the vote, then they get 40% of the seats, and Party B receives 30% of the vote, they get 30% of the seats, and so on. And this is the system present in many European nations, and under a proportional system, the efforts of third-party candidates are rewarded in a way that they would never be in a two-party winner-take-all system. Now, the second structural barrier standing in the way of third-party candidates is the incorporation of their agendas into the platforms of the two major parties. Third parties are often called the conscience of the nation because they usually form around a narrower set of interests than do the major parties. For example, the Green Party emphasizes environmentalism, or the Christian Liberty Party argues that the Bible should be the blueprint for political action. So in both of these examples, you can see that third parties take on more extreme agendas and therefore appeal to fewer people than the major parties. However, if the third party is organized and well-funded, they can get the nation's attention. And if it turns out that a significant portion of Americans believe in one of the platforms of those parties, then that issue can rise to prominence. And now you're thinking, in that situation, maybe a third party has a chance. But here's where I tell you, no. Because often what happens is that the third party gains some traction, and that's a signal to the major parties that they need to appeal to those people. So what they'll do is incorporate the third party's agenda into their own platform. So for all the people who are moved by that issue, now they see the Democrats taking it up, for example, and they vote Democrat. And the third party candidate goes home and bites his pillow. Now, this is a pretty regular occurrence, but one of the best examples of a third party's platform being incorporated into a major party's platform was the Populist Party of the late 19th century. This party formed around upholding the interests of farmers, and one of their chief agenda items was to push for the unlimited coinage of silver. With this platform, the party got a lot of attention from the rural community. And seeing this, the Democrats went ahead and incorporated the unlimited coinage of silver into their own platform, and those farmers in large measure ended up voting for Democrats. So with the two-party system, two things will probably always be true. Number one, third parties will never win because of the winner-take-all voting systems. And number two, third parties will continue to raise issues overlooked by the major parties, who will then bring those issues into their own platforms. Okay, thanks for watching. Click right here to grab a review packet, which is going to help you get an A in your class and a 5 on your exam in May. And if this video helped you, you want me to keep making them, then by all means subscribe, and I shall oblige. Heimler out.